Everybody, this is Perch, and a lot of people read into the videos here, and I don't know how many times I've done the video saying, hey, folks, I'm just a simple guy. I'm talking comics. And I find it honestly just slightly weird and creepy that there's like the Illuminati type theory. Oh, I said Illuminati, so now I need to do, say, a great white replacement theory, and YouTube will start to flag all kinds of warnings on these videos. Anyway, that people basically come up with theories as to what I'm actually thinking, or what do you mean that when he made this comment about how, there's a dead frog on the road? Is that taking a shot at the cyber frog guy? Or, hey, he mentioned that the movie Heathers, and is that a secret shot at Heather? I mean, I don't know. I don't have the time, but really pretty simple guy. But anyway, this mail's from a viewer who's, I think, reading in more to things, and I wanted to address it because now it's come up in a couple comments, and people like to speculate on who, who's got heat with who, so to speak. So let's talk about it. It opens up the opportunity to talk about something that I've been meaning to chat about. So let's go. So, hey, Perch. I just thought I'd reach out because I noticed you haven't been on the live stream anymore, yours or others. Well, let me tell you, you got out while the going was good. That channel that you used to be on has turned into one of those typical CG hate channels, and you don't want to be associated with that. I can only imagine that you've had a falling out and you don't appreciate that content. If so, I have to say I agree. Nothing makes me more upset than these angry videos about how everything is falling apart. I agree, things are not perfect, but it gets tiring having people constantly tell you how broken things are. Anyway, keep up the good work, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then there's some other stuff in there. All right, so I'm assuming, because the only live stream I've done other than my own, and I think I've done one this year, just one. It's almost mid-year, and I've only done one. And I'll explain that in a minute. But I'm assuming you're talking about Thinking Critical, because I did used to go on that show like once a month or so in the morning to do live streams on that Comics Aficionado show. It's been a while. So let me kind of dispel, something just very quickly. No, there has not been a falling out between Wes and myself. If there was a falling out, it would be news to me. So maybe he feels that way. I don't think so. We live nowhere near each other, so we can't do a bro hug or a fist bump or anything to prove it. But virtual fist bump, the guy's fine. I would say we're friends, as much as you're friends with somebody you've never met before. But virtual friends, right? I've never met the guy in real life before, but know his family. He's seen my face. I've seen his face. Lovely, lovely family, lovely children. Nothing against the guy. So no, there's no mystery drama there. I haven't been on any other live stream, so I have to imagine that that's what you're talking about. For the record, I know that I have heat with some other YouTubers out there, but it's one directional. It's with the exception of two people, with the exception of two YouTubers, and I will let you speculate to your heart's content, but with only two YouTubers do I have let's say, an irritation with. And the irritation comes from those people effing with me. So absolutely doing things both in public and behind the scenes, both, to try and just screw with me. So there's two of them. They know who they are. I'm sure all of you do too, or at least you would recognize the names. But other than those two, I don't have heat with anybody. I know there's this. I'm not even sure how to pronounce his name. John DeRoz. I hear he's angry, or there's heat. If there is, I haven't heard about it. Okay. I've heard Yellow Flash has taken some shots at me. I don't know. Again, I've never heard it. If people send me links to videos saying, what do you have to say about that? And it's not time-stamped to where the comment is, I'm too lazy to go look at it. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not doing it. But I don't know. I don't know who has heat with me, and quite frankly, I don't particularly care. It doesn't matter. I don't know what people are saying. I know at various times people have done rebuttal videos. To me, usually I can tell when I upload a video and I put in the tag at the end to, you're supposed to put the little thumbnail video for the next thing, and you type in the name of your channel, and then you have to select it for the link. That's where I see, every now and then I see somebody else's channel pop in when I put in Comic Perch, And that's when I know somebody is talking some shit about me somewhere, because that's that channel generally did some kind of reaction video or whatever. But again, I don't go listen. I don't have a temptation to go listen. I don't go. It is what it is. So let me just say right out the bat, no heat with anyone. Plenty of people may have it with me. I know some people do. But in terms of other YouTubers, there's two, and they've earned that place in my go screw yourself view. And then in terms of people in comics, again, very few. Like I said the other day, I think there's like 5 people total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Yeah, 5 people total who I legitimately would not help out if they need. I would not help out. But otherwise, I help out people all the time. A very infamous person reached out to me a few days ago, asked for somebody's email address if I could pass it along because they wanted to do work. Everybody hates this person. I gave the information, no problem. No problem. Because somebody wanted the name of address. I happen to like the person that they want the address for. Hope that means work is coming that person's way. Cool. Happy to pass that along, pay it forward. No problem. I generally live pretty happy, pretty benign life. I am, despite what some people have speculated, I'm not trying to get into the comic industry. And quite frankly, if, when I say not trying to get into it, I'm not trying to get into Marvel. I'm not trying to get into DC. I'm not trying to join the secret power club Illuminati. I'm desperately, trying to open up a shop. I'm on the finishing touches. That's one reason why I've been busy Saturday mornings, finishing up my comic. That's what I've been focusing on, other than my family, which I enjoy, doing things with my wife, and that doesn't sound right, and kids. But that's where my time has gone. But I'm not trying to get into Marvel, DC, or any of these places. Pretty much zero interest there. I want to do my own thing. So I don't care if right now 90% of the comic industry decided, oh, that Perch guy's a jerk, and I don't want to talk to him anymore. I'm okay with that. Just quite full stop. I don't particularly care. So no, I don't say the things I say in order to hopefully beg my way into the comic industry someday. Don't care. But the thing that I want to talk about in the video was this, kind of what was inferred there. And it's it's one reason I don't watch a lot of videos is I tend to be, this is going to sound like a ego thing to say, but I tend to be pretty thoughtful about what I listen to. So when I listen to something, I tend to think about it a lot. I tend to, digest, turn the words over in my mind, think about what the person is saying. And I tend to be thoughtful about what people are telling me. And so I found just in my basic happiness, my personality, that if I watch a lot of videos or I watch a bunch of commentary about how everything is fucked up, it brings me down. I already think some things are effed up. I don't need to watch videos of people telling me things are effed up. So if the video has things like, huge disaster for DC, or sales flop, toilets, or most gross thing ever happened in the history of comic editing, I'm like, I don't need it. I just, I'm there. I can pretty much gather, from the headlines. And I think a number of people, as I said, have reached out and speculated that the reason I'm not on Aficionados anymore is because I have conflict with Wes, because his channel has tended to tilt a little bit more in that direction in terms of kind of headlines about things being broken or what have you. It's not true. Again, no heat, consider the guy a friend, good guy. He has his view, and he usually tries to lay out his case. And I think a lot of people give him short shrift. Is that the way to put it? I think they don't give him enough credit for actually trying to think through some of these things. Talk his way through some of the analysis. He gets heated about things, like we all do. But I think we have to accept a basic fact. And this may be a fact that we don't like, and maybe something that we don't like to hear. But the reality is, if you have a punchy headline of like 4 words to 5 words, and it tends to be more negative, then it's going to get more clicks and views. If you write DC sales flop, it's going to get more views than DC sales soft in March, or concern about DC sales. Now, if he went a little further and would write things like DC on fire, destruction imminent, then his numbers are going to go up even higher, because that's what draws attention. I also think again, I'm paying the guy a compliment, cleverly, he's using his face, in the thumbnail of like looking surprised, looking angry, looking like bemused, kind of the different expressions, and that helps generate views. If you do that, it's like it adds a human element, and for whatever reason, and this is an area where I don't pretend to understand because I don't like the face, I don't like the emojis. A lot of people that seems to be going away a little bit, but people would do these thumbnails of like crying or laughing or emoji blowing up their head in these like, oh my god, DC sales disaster, and they like have an emoji with the head exploding, and I to me that's like a repellent. I can't, I just so not me, I can't do it. And I like Wes. I don't like the faces, whether it's him, whether it's Dan Pham, whether it's anybody. I tend to not. It doesn't work for me. But I have to accept and admit that I'm not the target audience, and I'm not the majority. Most people seem to like that. It definitely is good for views. And if you're trying to grow your channel and make money off here, you'd be a fool not to. So yeah, I mean, look, the guy's trying to grow his channel. Good for him. That's what he's doing. But regardless of whether I like emojis or faces in the thumbnails, that doesn't have anything to do with the fact that I think he's a good guy and I wish him success. And again, I've been busy. There's no drama there. So dispelling that myth. I do wish, and now nothing to do with Thinking Critical or any of these other channels, any specific channel. I do wish it wasn't that way. I do wish that it was that kind of stuff didn't draw the attention it draws, because I think that it's too easy to copy and replicate that and kind of race to the bottom. No, I'm not accusing Thinking Critical of doing this or any particular channel, but once you have the mechanics down of how to bring people in, it feels too, I don't know, it feels too easy. It feels wrong. And I feel like people get baited into clicking on things based on that stuff. So I wish it wasn't that way. But now I'm complaining about human nature, not the channels. It's just that's human nature. That's what people are drawn to. But I think I'm one of those guys that likes the detail and likes the nuance, and so to me, that's what I do. In return, plenty of people call me boring, call me dull. Again, I think the very first time, it's different now, but the very first time that Zach mentioned this channel, I think, the first time somebody sent me a link to the channel and put the timestamp on it, I think the quote was, Perch, I could tell from his voice, I hate that guy. Like that was in the video. That was his, like, I just hate that guy. And again, things have shifted, but that I get it. When people say I have to listen to Perch at double speed because he's boring and his voice is annoying, I get it. Does that make me feel happy? Well, no, but it's true. I'd rather live in a world of truth and fantasy tales, fairy tales. See, I was thinking fairy tales and went fantasy, and it kind of came out fanny, which is really like that's an old man word. Say ass like a young person. Come on. Anyway, it is what it is. For some of you, this works. For some of you, it works because you like to watch Mumbles troll me, and for some of you, you hate the shit out of it, and you spend time doing reaction videos I never listen to, and that's the circle of life. That's what we've got. But anyway, no heat, nothing. It just feels like a silly video to even have to do. So I'll probably put this up as like a bonus fourth video in the day. I don't know. The magic for me in all this is that I've consistently, I'd like one, this credit for this. I have put out now for, I think, 2 years. It'll be 2 years at the end of the month. I have put out 3 videos a day, every day, solid, for 2 years. Granted, a lot of them are garbage, but you gotta admit the consistency, the dedication is there. Now, I've said this for a while, but I'm absolutely cutting back on videos. It will be a slow process, but we're going to 2, and then we'll go to 1, and we'll see from there. But I'm absolutely cutting back from videos. The day is imminent I can't keep it up. Too many people. I've got now one comic writer, one comic artist and writer text me, say, you sound burned out. Yeah, you may be right. I don't know. I'm still having fun, but I probably do sound burned out. All I can tell you is, if I was listening to the channels that talk about the world is coming apart and sales flops and everything else, I would sound even more burned out. I don't need to inject more of that into my life. But anyway, hey, if you're going to be at the Dallas Expo, coming up, the Comic Expo later in June, July, I don't know, sometime this summer. If you're going to be there, look me up. I'm supposed to be doing something sponsored. I'm attached to the event. I know the event's all being cagey about this stuff now because of all the, you announce a YouTuber and suddenly you got a bunch of people throwing a tantrum on Twitter about it, and they absolutely would for me. Again, not because anybody particularly hates me, but because honestly, it's because it's not them. So there's a little jealousy factor in there. But I will be at that convention, so if you're there, shoot me a line, drop me a mail, and beer's on me. So I'm hoping to see you and have a good time in good old Dallas. So anyway, thanks for listening.
Look of elderly bloodlust spread across her wrinkled face, and it made me dare to think perhaps this was no accident. Perchance she was compelled to steer her beige battering ram into the house that Beef built, driven not by force of this earth, but of an earth below. An earth that mirrors ours in almost every way, except the reflections are so much darker that many miles down. Some know the reflected realm to be the netherworld. Others know it as the abyss. I know it as the shadow zone. A world where the blackness of our sin stares back at us and merely laughs. Ha 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 ha. A world where God's law governs no man. A world where there is no literal or figurative Mr. Belvedere given any authority to teach us right from wrong. A world where we are loosed and given leathery wings charred like brisket to soar high above the judgment of the well-pressed, dry-clean, shift-managing elite. A world where I am elevated to my true pagan animal form and I take flight, known only as the winged demon, Dead Dreadmore. And I fly high above the puritanical regime, anointed by the oil of our beast lord, singing, I'm the king of the castle, and you're the dirty rascal. Crash into me, crash into me. I don't know. Arby's is pretty cool.